Welcome back, everyone. This is Arafellum playing Magical Bringer Korona the movie. Last time, after Noelle invited Korona to visit her castle in the Demon Realm, and extended the invitation to her friends as well when she hesitated, Korona went to invite her friends to join her, starting with Subaru, which didn't go terribly well, and then Yuka, which went rather better. But the main highlight of the previous time was she ran into Belith, the fallen angel, who was apparently the runaway demon that Yao and Crom were looking for. She seems harmless enough, but she is rather mischievous and has thoroughly annoyed Korona. So, we're about to fight. Picking up her left off.
I'll tell your pink head orange!
And here's battle. Belith, being a new character, has a new combat theme. It doesn't sound very battle-y, but on the other hand, she's not much of a fighter. As we'll see pretty shortly. Anyway, as far as the combat system goes, as long as you do well on your initiative round, you are always slightly faster than most opponents. There are exceptions. But for the most part, Korona is faster than her opponents, which means she gets slightly more turns, which is a distinct advantage. At this point, the difficulty level is still pretty low, so attack rounds are pretty slow, you do a good amount of damage. Enemies, even if they hit you, don't hurt all that much. All the more so with Belith, because she's a weak opponent to begin with. She does have one special attack. I may just, if it doesn't happen on its own, drag out the battle just long enough to see it. But we'll see how that goes. Nice wings, though. Yep, aim for criticals, but at least get hits. There's a nice music box going on with the music. Yeah, that's just 2 attack rounds, and she's already out more than half her health. I think even the tutorial battle with Noelle was not quite this easy. In guard rounds, it doesn't matter how well you guard for most opponents most of the time. But go for the criticals anyway, it's good practice. This attack round should give Korona enough energy for her special, which will definitely finish out the battle. Critical. Yep.
Ow, that hurts! Subaru, save me!
And at this point you should be thinking, wait, Subaru? How does she know Subaru? But if you think back, remember when Korona went to Subaru's apartment to invite her on the trip, and she heard talking inside, and the other voice sounded like a little girl? Yeah. That's not nothing. Okay, I'm just going to sit here and wait for Belith to get at least one more turn. I do want to show off her special attack. And it's not going to happen this time, so one more round probably. The way enemy special round determination works, which is the way all special rounds worked in the previous game, is basically they have a fixed rate of special attacks per turn. I think it starts out something like 1 in 5. But each time they fail to get a special round, the odds of it happening next time increase. And if you go enough rounds without a special, the next one is guaranteed. So it's kind of like the Mercy thing in gacha games.
Okay, so what color will I dye you?
If this doesn't sound much like a combat skill, that's because it really isn't. Much better for mischiefing than for fighting. It's obscured the visibility somewhat and messed around with the colors, but that's pretty negligible. Again, Belith is not a fighter. And because the gauge is up to level 1, Korona is getting a special attack. Again, huge sword. Nice inverted color effect, the heartbeat.
Here we go! Special attack!
So the old done. Korona Desperado. Korona Desperado is more or less the same as her special attack or regular attack rounds, except you get the even spacing, you get the guaranteed critical effect, and you get, I think it's 12 hits instead of 8. So 50% or more damage, and then the battle's over, except it's not, because here's Subaru. If you watched the summary of the previous game or are familiar with it, you'll know that Subaru is also a magical girl, although she uses nanotechnology. Her stuff is lightning-based, and Thunder Discharge is her basic special attack. Yep. As with any victory, you do get an increase in Magical Girl level, which is your score/difficulty with that, but because Belith is so easy, the most you can get out of that is 2. Even the tutorial battle with Noelle was 6. So at this point, since I think I took at most negligible damage, the score difficulty should be up to 38 out of a possible 100. It starts at 30. I'm not sure that's even enough to notice any actual differences yet. Save here just in case.
That move, could it be?
I heard Belith-chan scream and came flying to look. What do you think you're doing, Sakura-senpai?
A clear voice, long sky blue hair, her trademark long headband fluttering in the wind, a magical girl bars the way before me. Her true identity is Subaru-chan.
You came for me, Subaru!
Cheating Belith-chan, the magical girl Pleia confronts me. And Belith-chan clings to her with a smile. Wait, huh? What? Hang on, what's going on here?
You came to me with talk of a sudden trip, but it was actually at the instigation of the Demon Lord. I won't hand over Belith-chan.
Hey, wait a minute, Subaru-chan. I don't know anything about that. I'm pretty sure you're seriously misunderstanding things. And the trip's a coincidence, too.
Misunderstanding or not, I didn't think you were such a cruel person as to strike such a small girl. It would seem that I must purge you after all.
Yeah, but...
No buts. I shall return Belith-chan's pain upon you.
Yeah, Subaru, go get her! Pleia threatens me to stick up for Belith-chan. The little devil cheers her on from behind. It's obvious now they've met before. Oh, so that's what's going on. I've got it all figured out. To not have found her even after searching this much may mean she's hiding somewhere. But she's in this area for sure. The voices replay in my mind. Prom-sen and Yao-sen's intuitions had been keen, but who'd have thought she'd have been at Subaru-chan's place? So that's it. I thought you seemed funny today, and you were hiding her. It's alright, I'll keep things secret from everyone.
That's not about to absolve you of bullying a child. Please prepare yourself.
With her zeal, the surrounding atmosphere crackles with electricity. This is her power. She manipulates atmospheric thunder to shock her foe. This sucks. She must be mad that I fought with Belith-chan.
Gee, you think?
Osiris!
Don't look at me. It was you who struck the little devil. I have nothing to do with any of this.
What? Ditching responsibility? Fine. I guess I've got no choice but to fight her.
It is precisely because you cannot be stopped by anyone that punishment must come upon you by my hand. And here's another battle. Pleia is a returning combatant, so her music is... It's basically her music from the previous game, but the instruments redone, bit of a remix, there's some extra flourishes put in. That's what happened with most of the returning battle music. Some nice guitar going on. Yeah, Pleia is one of the exceptions to Korona being faster than her opponent. The primary exception. She has the Speed X2 ability in all battles, which makes her literally twice as fast as a normal opponent. Which is an exaggeration from the previous game. In the previous game, Pleia also had Speed X2 for her battles, all except one, in which she had speed X3. But X2 was actually only a 50% increase. It was speed X3 that was an actual double, and it felt really overwhelming at the time. But in this game, she's twice as fast as a normal opponent in every battle that you fight her. Okay, so here's Thunder Discharge from Pleia with the actual cut-in effect. Wrath of the Heavens, come forth! Then Geki Hosho, I think that was, which basically translates to Thunder Discharge. Yeah, the main thing with Thunder Discharge is you have a lot of things coming hard and fast. Even at this relatively easy difficulty, that can be difficult to react to it all quickly enough to block the whole thing. And I find that if you mess up even once, you basically can't recover from it. And I'm sure more skilled players would be able to, but that's what I find is, if I mess that up, then I'm basically too flustered to get the rest of the attack. So basically, look at it, try to figure as much of it can in advance, memorize it a little bit in the short-term memory, and then just go and hope it comes out okay. She does get other special attacks, but not in this particular battle. But the most annoying thing about fighting Pleia is not that she's particularly strong, and certainly not that she's durable, because she isn't. Is that because she's so fast, she'll be getting attack rounds constantly, and you'll be seeing a lot of specials also because, again, constant attack rounds means more chance to get special attacks, which means more of those. Also, if you're seeing a special attack after the first time in a particular battle, they won't say they're going. And you can skip the whole cut-in if you want by pressing enter. I find I rather like them, so I let them go. Okay, it should only take one, at most 2 more rounds to finish her off, but because she's so fast, it's going to take a while to get there. Incidentally, as while we're waiting, I shall go through my notes on her special attack. So her Wrath of the Heavens Come Forth is more literally be here than come forth. Oh, there we go. Have you gotten stronger again? Oh yeah, be here doesn't really sound quite right, so come forth. Come forth sounds a lot better in English. Also, on an incidental note, her quote there has changed since the previous game. The previous game was Wrath of the Gods, here it's Wrath of the Heavens. So, just a little bit of change. Anyway, not much has happened in the way of plot, but 2 battles in a row, pretty much, that takes a lot out of time, even with as quick as they are, so I'm going to stop this here, and come back to the fallout of the battle next time. Anyway, for now, this has been Arafellin playing Magical Bringer Korona the movie. And come back next time for more. Hope to see you then.